day. This is Teacher Abe, your math tutor for today. Our today's episode is about binomial probability under exact. Our today's learning objective are as follows. First, we're going to compute the PR using the binomial distribution formula. NCR, PR with exponent of R, the P with exponent of R, and Q with exponent of NR. Then we're going to use it to the real life scenario. Now let's start the first problem. The first thing that we have to do is we get the given. So, in this problem, we'll be having the different variable N, R, P, and Q. So, these are the things that we need for this problem. So, the value of N is 5 days. And then for the R, we have 1 day. And then for the PR, we have 0.87 here. That's our PR. Then to get the Q, we have Q is equal to 1 minus 0.87. So 1 minus 0.87. So we got 0.13. So our Q now is 0.13. Okay. The next one is we use the formula. Okay. So the formula is NCR, PR, and then Q and minus R. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in all the value. So the N is 5, and we copy the C, and the R is 1. Then the P is 0.87. The R is 1, the Q is 0.13, then the N is 5, and then R is 1. The next thing that we're going to do is we solve the 5C1 first. So the 5C1, if you still remember the combination, the formula is N factorial over N factorial. N minus R factorial and then R factorial. So this just plug in, so 5 factorial over N minus 5 minus 1 factorial, and then we got 1 here. So what we do here is we copy the 5 factorial, and then 5 minus 1 is 4 factorial, and then 1 factorial. Then we expand the 5 factorial until 4 because 4 is the highest factorial in the denominator. So we got 5 times 4 factorial, then divided by 4 factorial, 1 factorial. We cancel out the 4 factorial. In this manner, the 5C1 is 5 already. So the answer here is 5. So now we can change this to 5 in this part. So 5 multiplied by the, this is 1. If you're going to do that, 0.87, and then do the 1, it's still 0.87 in your calculator. So it's still the same, 0.87. Okay, then, so 5 minus 1 is 4. So we got 0.13, then with the power of exponential power of 4, so you got 0.000286. So that would be your value for the Q and minus R. Then what we're going to do now is we're going to multiply these 3. So these 3 value. Okay. So you got this already. You multiply that to 0.87 then multiply that to 5. So our answer will be 0.001242. So this is the answer, but not the final answer, because according to the statement, it should be nearest thousand. So it must be 3 digits after the decimal point. So we'll be having 3 digits. So the final answer will be 0.001. So this is the answer for this problem. Our next problem is the hiking club plans to go camping in a state park where the probability of rain on any given day is 1/6. What is the probability that it will rain on exactly 7 of the 7 days they are there? So round off your answer to the nearest thousand. The first thing that we do to solve for this problem is, of course, we have to write the given. First, we have 1/6, that's P. Okay, and then we have the N, which is 7. And then the R is also 7 because of the 7 days. But for the Q, we have to calculate for the Q. We know that Q is equal to 1 minus the P. So then we have 1 minus 1/6. Okay, so in that case, we will be having 6/6 minus 1/6. And then we got 5/6 as our value for the Q. Okay, after having all the givens, the things that we're going to do is to write the formula. Okay, so what's our formula? So we have N, CR, PR, Q, and minus R. So then after that, we plug in or we substitute. So the substitution takes place. So the N is 7. C, we just copy C, and then we got 7 for the R. The P is 1/6. So closing up in parentheses, 1/6. The R is 7. Then we got the Q, 5/6. Then we got 7 minus 7. Okay. Before multiplying these three, we need to calculate first the combination. So we'll be having 7C7. Formula for that to get the value is n factorial, n minus r factorial, and then r factorial. Then we plug in the value 7 factorial, 7 minus 7 factorial, then 7 factorial. 7 minus 7 is 0, 7 factorial is 1. So 7C7 is 1. So the value for the combination here is 1. So this 7C7 is 1. Okay? Then you multiply it by 1/6 to the 7. And then we have 5/6. 7 minus 7 is 0. So automatically this is 1. So I'll be having 1 multiplied by 1/6 to the 7 multiplied by 1. So this is 1 already because the exponent is 0. So what we're going to do now is to calculate 1/6 1/6 to 7, and the value for that is 0.000004. Okay, so this is the answer, but we are asked to put that into the nearest thousand. So if it is that in the nearest thousand, it's what I have said, 3 digits after the decimal point, then the final answer is 0. So that is the answer for this problem set.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and share our video. Thank you. Bye-bye.